Today we're going to talk about Dylan Redwine. Okay, his father, Mark Redwine, is on trial for his son's murder. Let's get into it. 13-year-old Dylan Redwine was last seen on November 18th, 2012, while at a Walmart with his father. Okay, now Dylan's mother reported him missing on November 19th after receiving a text from Dylan's father asking as if he heard from him. Now, Dylan's father said he saw Dylan asleep on the sofa at 7:30 a.m. before leaving to run errands. All right, parts of his remains were recovered in late June 2013, only 10 miles from his father's home, okay, on Middle Mountain, just north of Vallecito Lake. Dylan's mother, brother, and family continue to fight for justice for Dylan. His case is considered a homicide. You know, when you have children, and as they get older in life, you teach your children not to trust strangers, right? Well, what happens when it's your own parent that harms you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood, how can a parent harm their children in any way? In any way. How? To me, it's really sick. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Mark has a trial going on. I'm not sure if you guys are watching it, but you can catch it live on YouTube. I think I've seen a couple live videos of it, so you can catch it on YouTube. Now, what would be his motive to do this to Dylan? What would be Mark Allen Redwine, who's 59 years old? Why would he want to do this to his son? Is it over a custody battle? You know, well, if my son can't be with me, he's not going to be with you type situation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read what they have here. It says, opening statements are set for Monday. And this article is a day or two old. At the trial of a Southern Colorado father accused of killing and dismembering 13-year-old Dylan Redwine of Monument. Now, Mark Allen Redwine, who's 59 years old, has protested his innocence in the death of Dylan, who vanished November 19th of 2012, while visiting his father near Durango at the time of discord between Redwine and his ex-wife who lives in Monument. Okay. Now, in the newspaper interviews and on Dr. Phil's show, Redwine pleaded for help finding the boy after his disappearance. In June of 2013, some of the boy's remains were found 10 miles from his father's home. And in 2015, Dylan's skull was found bearing signs of blunt force trauma. Okay? And this was said by the investigators. Okay? So that means Dylan was knocked over the head. Okay? He was knocked in to have show signs of blunt trauma. He was knocked on his head. All right. Now, Mark Redwine, long a figure of suspicion among the boy's other family members, was indicted in July of 2017, roughly 2 years after the skull was discovered. Investigators said they needed time to bolster their case against him. Now, opening remarks are expected to begin at 1:30 once a jury has been seated. Jury selection started June 14th, okay, and it shows in the court records. The trial is expected to last 4 to 5 weeks. Mark Redwine faces the potential of up to 48 years in prison if he's convicted of second-degree murder, the top charge that is against him. He is also charged with child abuse, resulting in death. He has pleaded not guilty to both counts. The oft-delayed trial comes 7 months after La Plata County District Judge Jeffrey R. Wilson scrapped a previous trial in November after roughly a week of jury selection that happened when several members of the defense team said they came down with symptoms consistent with the coronavirus. Their test results later came in and it was negative. Now, Dylan's mother and his brother, Corey Redwine, and mother, Elaine Hall, asked that the trial continue despite coronavirus risk, citing the emotional toll on the family of repeated postponements. And I could understand that. You know, you want to get this over with. You want to get it done. And let me just tell you guys, my brother's trial is coming up. So certain things I don't always talk about because it just takes me back to that. So if I'm not around much time in August, you know why. Or if I just fall back from my content, you know why. And after that trial is over, I will talk to you about that case. It's very touchy for me. My brother was murdered. So I feel her pain, you know. I also feel Corey's pain because his brother is missing. His brother is gone. He's not missing, he's gone. He's dead, you know. Sibling relationships are different, whether you're close or you're not close. That's your sibling. You're going to feel a way, okay, about your sibling being murdered. So, Corey and Elaine, they have a right to fight for justice for their sibling and son. And I hope he gets justice. I hope Dylan Redwine gets justice. This family is going through it. So I understand why the mother didn't want any more postponements. It takes a toll on you. You want this person to just, you know, rot the rest of their life in jail. Just give them the sentence and let them rot, right? But you got to go through the court system. You got to go through the trials and all that. And Mark, he is pleading not guilty. So the mother said, I beg of you, Judge, to keep this trial on track. Okay. She also told the court, speaking of the family's heartbreak and saying they have been victimized over and over and over again. In ruling, Wilson said he had no choice but to postpone the proceedings, even though the court has spent months crafting safety protocols to minimize risk to participants from the pandemic. Now, the trial, which by then had been moved a half dozen times, okay, for various reasons, was postponed. It was postponed twice, more in January and March because of the pandemic-related court closures before this month's setting, and the records show that. Redwine remains held without bail at the La Plata County Jail in Durango. The trial will be broadcast over a court web application and is open to members of the public who can log on from their home computers, though they must mute their microphones throughout and follow the judge's instructions as relayed during the trial. If you want to see the trial, I will put a link down in the description box, in the description box and in the comment section. I will give you the link so you could click on that. Hopefully you can still see it, even though if they won't be in court, it'll have a playback for you to see. But if not, you can catch it. I know definitely you can catch it on YouTube. Okay. This is so freaking sad. This is sad. This is horrible. Communication between Mark Redwine and his 13-year-old son Dylan was sporadic in the months leading up to the boy's disappearance. but the father sent 4 text messages to his teenage son that day he was reported missing. This was part of the focus of the first day of the 3rd week of testimony in Mark Redwine's murder trial. He is charged with second-degree murder and child abuse, resulting in death for the November 12, 2012 disappearance of Dylan Redwine. Patrick Bayer, who is now part of the U.S. Secret Service, testified about his analysis of the communication between various devices associated with both Mark and Dylan Redwine, as well as the boy's mother, brother, and best friend. Now, phone data shows how often Dylan Redwine's father tried to call him after he had disappeared. Okay. Dylan Redwine's last known communication was on the night of November 18th, 2012. His father reported him missing the next day. Bayer testified that while the boy's mother called him repeatedly, Mark Redwine was more subdued on November 19th, 2012. This was the context of 4 messages Mark Redwine sent his son the day the search for him began. At 8:14 a.m., "Hey, bud, out the office, call me." 8:15, "Hey, you, call me, please." 11:23 a.m., "Dill, I am home, and you're nowhere to be found. Come back so I can get you to Bayfield. At least call me, okay?" 2:33 p.m., "Dylan, you need to call me. Where are you?" Now, those are the text messages that he sent to his son, okay? Dylan Redwine was never heard from again. His partial remains were found up the road from Mark Redwine's Vallecito home on Middle Mountain in June of 2013. His skull was found 5 miles away in November 2015. Okay? Previous witnesses testified there was evidence he suffered a skull fracture and a sharp force injury at the time of his death. Mark Redwine's defense team has argued that Dylan Redwine wandered off and succumbed to the elements. The prosecution has argued that the boy was killed by his father in a fit of rage after he was confronted about compromising photos. Okay, so let's talk about those photos. Bayer's testimony showed that the relationship between the boy and his father appeared strained in the months before his disappearance. Multiple text messages sent to Dylan Redwine by his father were unanswered, and the boy told his brother he intended to show his father the compromising photos he had seen of him. Jesus. Whew. The day he was last seen, Dylan Redwine had flown from his mom's home to Monument to Durango, where he met his father for a court-ordered visit. Bayer testified that when his mom texted him to ask if he arrived, Dylan responded with yes and a frowny face emoji. So it seems like to me, Dylan did not want to be around his father for whatever reason. But because he had a court-ordered, visitation, he had to go and see his father. I don't think that he would have if this court order wasn't in place. I really don't. That was the last message he was sent to his mom. Bayer testified that Dylan Redwine logged on to Facebook multiple times per day and texted his friends on both his phone and iPod. There was no activity after 10 p.m. on November 18th. The boy's phone was never found. Mark Redwine's trial is slated to last for 4 weeks. So there's compromising photos. Okay, so now we are, Jesus, this is just something else. It's a lot. It's really a lot. Okay, so I'm going to describe the photos to you. I'm not going to put those disgusting photos in my video, but if you want to see the photos, all you have to do is type in Mark Redwine photos and you will see it all. It's disgusting. One video show him dressed with a woman's bra on, okay, with pictures. The other video of the other picture that Dylan had found was him eating feces or licking feces from a diaper he was wearing. And it's disgusting. And it's just, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. It's horrible. It is horrible. Like, this man has some serious sick fetishes. Okay? He really does. He has some sick, oh gosh, sick fetishes going on. Sick. I mean, why on earth are you doing that? Why are you licking and eating feces? That is really disgusting. Okay? So that's probably why he murdered his son, because his son was going to confront him about those pictures. And he didn't want that stuff to get out there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. It's horrible. Yeah, so those pictures of him dressed, with a woman's bra on, and the other picture is of him eating feces. Oh, my Jesus Christ. Like, but I'm saying he didn't have to kill his son over that. He could have just told his son, this is something I'm into. You should not concern yourself with this. And just, what, I'm done with this. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, the trial, you can find the trial on YouTube. And I'm going to try to put that link in the comment section or the description box for you. All right. So that's all I want to talk about this case. The next time I will talk about this case is when it is time for Mark Redwine to be sentenced. Okay. His family needs closure. Justice for Dylan. Okay. I'm just heartbreaking. My heart breaks for his mother and his brother right now, and the rest of the family, because this did not have to happen to Dylan. And this is why when children go missing, why they also look at the parents' behavior, because 9 times out of 10, it's not always I'm going to say this. It's not always the parents that did it, but look at these cases. Look at these cases. But anyway, if you know anything about this case, let's talk about it in the comment section. What are your thoughts about this case? It's time for Dylan to get justice. It really is. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later.